Hey girls, what is up? Welcome back to another video. So we are gonna put the vlogs on hold. This video we putting the vlogs on hold because we're about to do a sewing tutorial. So I promised the girls a sewing tutorial. I even took some suggestions from the girls as well, and a few of you said do like a swing over garment. More of you said do a prayer garment. So I think prayer garments is a little bit easier to do in terms of like instructions. Why is 2D going to the bathroom? So I gotta put my glasses on, y'all. Now you're gonna see the ring camera through my glasses because it's nighttime, it's late, it's about 10 o'clock at night. So I want to do this video so that I can try to have it out there for you guys tomorrow. So in this video, I'm going to try to stick to the point and not get distracted with anything, but I want it to be like very, very informative. I want it to be so informative that anytime you think about sewing something, you say, let me go put Faye video on. That's how informative I want it to be. So I'm gonna try to be very detailed. I'm gonna go over everything with you guys. I'm gonna get straight to the point, but I'm not gonna rush it. It's gonna be very informative. All right, let's get started, y'all. Let's get started. So the first thing we need to talk about is fabric, right? Before you start making your garment, you always want to know what type of fabric you're going to use. So this is a prayer garment that I have on right here. It's very stretchy or whatever, right? So I'm going to talk to you about a few things. This type of fabric is called ITY. It's super stretchy. It washes really well. It doesn't shrink for me when I wash it. I don't put my garments in the dryer though, so that could have a lot to do with the longevity of them as well. But yeah, it's so forgiving. So I always use a stretchy fabric, which could be called a knitted fabric, or just like we call it ITY. So this is the fabric that I got from the store when I went. I wish you guys could feel it. It's like a mix of ITY and a jersey fabric. So it stretches not too much this way. It doesn't stretch too much that way, but it does give though. That's a good thing. It stretches a little bit. But as you can see, when I turn it this way, it stretches so much more. So you want to make sure that your garment is being pulled this way. When you go to put your garment on, you're like, oh, this is how you want your garment to pull, this way, not this way. Because if you do it this way, you might not be able to fit it. You might not be able to fit it. So when you think about how wide you want something to be, or think about width, you want to make sure, like the way how your shirts go, the way how your dresses go, they should stretch this way. They shouldn't stretch in length when you put the garment on. They should stretch width way. So you want to make sure that when you're sewing a garment, your garment stretches this way and not in length. Because then it'll just be a whole mess. Your garment will just like be falling to the ground. It'll be super heavy. Don't make your stretch go the long way. Y'all, the next thing you want to do, you want to make sure you have your favorite garment, okay? Don't get the garment that you don't like. Get the garment that you love and use that as a pattern. If you have a dress, if you have a shirt, if you have pants, you have a pattern. If you have a shirt, it's like no. But so this is what I'm going to use. This is an overhead that I love. Not overhead. This is a prayer garment that I absolutely. It is an overhead though, because it go over my head. But this prayer garment is my favorite one, y'all. And it was like, I love it so much that sometimes I have to prevent myself from wearing it because that's how much I love it. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. When you don't dry your garments, and you just hang them up. They smell so good. So this is the garment that I'm going to use as my pattern. Okay, now we about to go into some sewing machine stuff. So y'all, one thing I see a lot of people stressing over or going back and forth about in the beginning is like, what type of sewing machine should I get? I've had so many sewing machines, and a lot of them broke because I share machines with my son, and he put clothes that's like too heavy in the machine, and they do break. But if you're sewing overgarments, dresses, curtains, things like that, you don't need a really heavy duty sewing machine. I feel like I want to say this sewing machine was about $130. $130, y'all. I don't know like if that is 100% the truth, but most of my sewing machines are like $219, $140, you know, something like that. It does not have to be a Juki. A Juki is top of the line. You get that when you're doing some big projects. It don't have to be a Juki. You can get you a Singer, a Brother, whatever one. They all work the same. You just have to know how to use it. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of the parts of the sewing machine. So here is your bobbin, right? This is your bobbin. This is where you put your bobbin. This here is your needle. It's not hard. And the sewing machine comes with all of this stuff put together all the time. Put together already. Yeah. I think you just want to have to like thread your bobbin, but it should come with a needle in your sewing machine until you break it, and you're going to break it. So the way you change your needle, you just move this screw right here. You just unscrew this. Take the needle off and put another one in. Hey, Jenna. What I'm going to show you right now is how to thread your bobbin. She's on the phone with her cousin, so I'm not sure getting a snack. Alright, so you want to put, let me see, hold on. So you want to put your bobbin in here. This thing right here. See that? Right there. You put your bobbin there. This is your thread. Right? That's what you do. That's how you thread your bobbin. So this right here is what you step on when you want the sewing machine to go. It's just like driving a car. So I'm going to step on that so that my bobbin can thread, and you'll see it. You'll see it thread. So after the bobbin stops being threaded, just push this back like that, and then you pull it up. You see this thread here? The reason this thread is on there is because the bobbin was done and I just kept going. But it's cool though. I just cut it off and I took that off of that. So after your bobbin is threaded, I normally try to do like 3 bobbins or something, just so that I won't have to rethread it again during my project. But I'm not going to do that right now. So you just put your bobbin in this hole. You're going to follow this little line here. Ooh. Put your top back on here. So simple. And now you're going to thread your needle. There are numbers and it's a guide up here to tell you how to thread your needle. It tells you when you want to do the bobbin, you put it through here and you put it over. When you want to do the needle, you put it through here and then you just follow what it tells you to do. So you put it in here, bring it around here, and it's going to attach to this little metal thing. You bring it down and then you put it in your needle. Simple. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right around. So I'm going to put it in my needle. Right now, I'm going to put this in my needle. Right? Now, this should work for me because I have my glasses on. Okay, I got it. This right here, your presser footer, you want to lift that up before you put your garment in. There's something right here on the side. Can you see this flap? Before you start sewing your garment, you lift this up, put your garment in there, and then put it back down. Just like that. Lift it up, garment, put it back down. But I'm going to show you that again once it's time. So we have the needle threaded and we have the bobbin in. So we're good on that part. So girls, I'm back. If your garment has a pattern, right? This here is my pattern. The other side doesn't have the pattern. When you are sewing, you want the pattern to be on the good sides together like that. So you'll sew the garment outside first. And then when you turn the garment around, it's going to be the right way. So when I talk about sewing, I talk about the good side, and then I talk about the bad side. So when you're folding your garment, you want to fold good sides together. Good sides together, so that the wrong side or bad side is what you see on the outside. Because think of how your garments look inside out. You don't sew your garments on the side that you're going to wear, right? They do that sometime, but they have the stitching on the outside of a garment. But realistically, our garments are supposed to have the stitchings on the inside. So you want to make sure, if your pattern isn't two-sided, you sew on the wrong side. So look at your good side, fold your good side onto each other, and you're going to sew on the wrong side. So y'all, let's talk a little bit more about fabric, okay? I brought 4 yards of this fabric, and it's a lot. I really didn't need 4 yards of this because I'm only 5 feet. I could have gotten 3 yards of this and I would have been fine. So this fabric was on sale for $1.99 a yard. So I could have bought this fabric for $6 and had my prayer garment. So I just try to stress that with you girls about, how you can find fabrics on sale. Get you a garment for $6. It's so sewing is just so good for the soul that it'll take your mind off of a lot of stuff. I started sewing to help with anxiety, to relieve anxiety and depression and stuff like that. And it got me through some tough times. And I used to sew all night. I would just be up sewing. So get you a sewing machine because you want your dresses for cheap. And you want to have a hobby that you want to get something beneficial out of. So like I said, this is 4 yards of fabric, right? Let me see. So this is not the way that the stretch is going. The stretch is going this way. So this is the way that I'm going to fold my garment. And this is a lot of fabric, y'all. I don't even need this much. So I really want to show y'all how not to waste fabric. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to lay this fabric down like so. And I know I'm not that tall. So I probably will have almost a yard of this left. I don't know. But I think I'm going to have about this much fabric left after I'm done getting this to be to the right size. So let's see. This pattern is really beautiful too. I like it. Yo, I needed new prayer garments because I just feel like I'll be wearing the same ones over and over again. So I'm so happy that I got this. And I'm so happy that y'all prompted me to make a prayer garment. So when you folding your fabric, Just make sure like you don't have any like creases under it or something. You want it to be like as flat as it possibly can. And the good thing about a prayer garment is you only sewing like a rectangle. You're not making nothing too crazy, like curvy or nothing like that. It's just straight up and down, a rectangle. So with our pattern, which is our other garment, we're gonna put our garment on top of this fabric, right? We're gonna put our garment, and you can see it's tall enough. Like, this is good. This is good, right? You see? I still have room at the bottom to hem the garment. So when you're cutting your fabric, always make sure you have room at the bottom to hem your garment, okay? You need to hem your garment. So for beginner sewers, if I wanted to, I could very well make this garment, cut one piece, and I wouldn't have to put sleeves on. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. So let's just say, for instance, you wanted to cut your garment with the sleeves in already. The only thing that you would have to make sure is that our fabric is only a two-way stretch. It's not a four-way stretch. Four-way stretch means that no matter how you hold your garment, it's going to stretch. This one has a tad bit of stretch to it, but it's not enough to where it's though, like if I got my arms in the garment, it's not going to be tight. It may get holes or whatever. So if you are going to do sleeves in with a garment that is not four-way stretch, make your sleeves bigger than they are when you cut them out. Don't make your sleeves the same size. So if you were keeping these sleeves on without adding sleeves, at least give yourself like a good 2 inches. So again, if you're going to sew your garment with the sleeves attached, if it stretches every way, you're good. If it doesn't stretch every way, make the sleeves bigger than what they actually are, because your arms will not be able to fit in the sleeves. If they're too big after you do it, then just go in and make it a little tighter, but never cut too small. You always want to cut bigger, because you can always make something tighter, but you can't make something bigger. Okay, I'm not going to leave my sleeves on because I don't know. I just don't do that for myself. Plus, I want to show y'all how to put the sleeves on. So I'm getting ready to cut this fabric out, cut my sleeves out, and I'm going to show y'all while I'm doing it as well. So when you are cutting your garment, don't cut your garment exactly to the size that it is. Give yourself about another inch because you need seam allowance. Seam allowance is just your stitching. It's where you're going to be stitching your garment at. So make sure you give yourself about a good inch. That's it, and that is all. Give yourself a good inch for seam allowance. And you just want to cut that bad boy straight down. Prayer garments are nothing but rectangles. You just sew in a rectangle. Not even a full rectangle, because you only sewing the 2 sides down. For real. That's all you're doing. So this is my first side. Only thing about sewing on camera is I gotta be careful how like I'm sitting and stuff, you know? That's the only thing. So now I'm gonna cut my other side, making sure that I'm giving myself about an inch extra of seam allowance. Y'all, I remember when I first started sewing, and I used to have headphones on, but it would be like the type of headphones that had the wires. I cut so many pairs of my headphones that have the wires in them. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see that under there or whatever. Like, that was crazy. That's how long ago. I mean, even though I still like the headphones with the wires, but that's how long ago, like it was when I first had started sewing. And so now I'm just gonna cut the bottom of my garment, making sure that I leave myself room to hem my garment. Hemming is just folding it under twice so that your garment isn't like raggedy at the bottom. And I'm definitely gonna show y'all how to do that. Like, I'm definitely gonna show y'all how to do that. So I have my garment cut out. I have to do the headpiece and the sleeves. So this is the part of the garment where my head goes in. I'm just gonna cut a little teeny bit of that off. Don't cut too much off because you don't want to have a drunk neck on your garment. So don't cut too much. That's for my head to go through. And this is how much I cut off. That's it. That little teeny piece that was folded in half, I just cut a little teeny bit off. I'm going to show you. This is it. That's what I cut off. So when you cut in your sleeves, you want to do it the same exact way. You're going to sew your sleeves, putting the good sides together, and you're sewing on the bad side. But you also want to make sure that you find your stretch. So the fact that this is my stretch, I want to fold it in half this way now because I want it to stretch so that my arms can go through. I don't want my sleeve to stretch this way. I want my sleeve to stretch this way so that my big arms could fit in there, right? So I'll just fold this like this, fold it over, good sides together, right? Good sides together. And then I'm going to put my pattern sleeve, put my pattern sleeve on top of it and cut it out. Let's see, where you at, pattern? Where is my pattern sleeve? So I'll put my pattern sleeve on top of this, and then I'll cut it out like so. Where's my scissors? Where's my scissors? And don't forget to leave, oh, my ear itching. Don't forget to leave about 1 inch for seam allowance. Never make the garment exactly to the size of your pattern because you need seam allowance, right? So, and you also want to make the sleeve a little bit longer so that you can hem your sleeve as well. And so now that I have my first sleeve cut, I'm going to do the same thing for my second sleeve. I'm going to fold my garment good sides together, right? And this time I'm going to use this sleeve that I just cut because I want these to be the exact same size.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Jen. Making an overgarment. But I'm just going to cut the sleeves out real quick. And then the next thing that I have to cut is the piece that will go over my head. Jenna, can you get my charger to my computer? To my. Oh my gosh. Jenna, can you get my charger to my camera? You know the little teeny black one?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I got my sleeves cut out. So y'all, the next thing that we are going to do, yes?
I couldn't find it.
You got my box piece, because remember you had my charger?
Yeah, I don't got it though.
Where's my charger?
You hold it.
Huh?
You hold it.
So ask Papa where my charger at. So the next thing we're going to do is, this is the headpiece. And the headpiece, y'all, is right here. It's like from here to here. And it just looked like a long rectangle. But the thing about this is that you want to make sure, again, you go in the way of the stretch so that the stretch can fit over your head. If you go this way, your headpiece won't be able to fit on your head. So I want my fabric to stretch this way. And this line on the fabric, I don't know if you can see that. Oh my gosh. This whole time, the camera is facing the mirror. Oh my gosh. Oh. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Well, I fixed it. So if you could see this line right here, this is the part that lets me know that it goes under my neck. This right here goes under my neck. This lets me know if I have my garment on correct, right? So again, you just make sure that your garment stretches and that you're not using this part of the fabric. So this part should be the long way, but the circle part should stretch. The circle part that goes over your head should stretch. So I'm just going to make sure this is the long way. It stretches a little bit, but I want it to stretch a lot. You see? I want it to stretch a lot. So the circle part is the part that should stretch. So I'm just going to lay my fabric down on the floor. So I'm just going to lay this fabric. Let me move my sleeves out the way. I'm going to lay this fabric on the floor, right? And then I'm going to put my pattern to my headpiece over top of it. But the fact that this has a line here, this is where I want to sew it at. So you want to match the folded part with this folded part. Okay, you put the folds together, and then where the seam is at is where I'll cut. So that's going to let me know which part my neck goes in. And I'm just going to come down, giving myself some seam allowance, never making my garment the same size as the pattern, because we have to sew it and it may come out too small. So now I'm just gonna cut this piece like so. So you guys, we have our fabric cut out. We have the rectangle, which is the bigger piece. We have two sleeves right here, and then we have the piece for our head. So as you can see, I left out about this much so that when I put the garment onto the machine, the pins don't get caught in the machine and cause a jam. So y'all, we are ready to put our garment on the machine. I like to sew my knits with a zigzag stitch. And on your sewing machine, you have these numbers here. My zigzag stitch is a number 3. Right now my machine is on a straight stitch, which is number 2. So I'm just going to put it on the number 3 so that my fabric can be sewn with a zigzag stitch. And I like to sew with a zigzag stitch because it helps with the stretching. So another thing that I was telling y'all about, I was talking to the girls about this on my live, and they thought it was like a little, you know, nerve-wracking or seemed a little hard or whatever, because whatever type of garment you have, whatever type of fabric you have, you want to use a needle that works with that garment. So I'm using, and it's not hard to do, because like if you can see this, it tells you what these type of needles are for. You got jeans, denim, whatever word that is. So these are for like harder fabric. So you would use this for like jeans and like, you know, just really heavy fabrics. Now, this here, these needles is what I'm using right now, and this is for like jersey knit or whatever. So it's a jersey ballpoint needles. These work really good on your stretch fabric. So you want to make sure you have like a jersey ballpoint needle. It's not hard. All you do is get your jersey ballpoint needle. It's right here. You go into the store. They cost like $3 too. Like for a pack of these, I think they cost like $3. And I always try to keep extra needles on hand because they be breaking. Like sometimes they will break. And like you can see, you can use Singer needles on a brother machine. It doesn't matter. The only thing I will say is that when I'm using my bobbin, I like to use the clear bobbins, like the one I showed you earlier, because the metal bobbins don't seem to work with this machine. And this is, so I have another clear. I'm glad I looked in here. Oh, I got 2. Oh, where's the metal ones? Okay, so this is a metal bobbin. And I don't like how these ones work for this machine. So I try to use my clear bobbins on this machine. And I'm glad I found some more clear on the bobbin already. So when it's time, if this runs out, I won't have to rethread a bobbin because I got another one. So I'm holding my sewing machine on like a weird angle just because I want to show you guys. So this is what I was talking about earlier. You want to lift this up. Your presser footer, you want to lift it up so that you can put your garment under it right here, and then you want to put it back down. And what I was talking about with seam allowance, you want to keep at least like, you can do 1/4 inch or 1 inch. You don't want to sew it straight on the ends because that's how you can get like holes in your garment and stuff like that. So I'm going to start it here. I have my fabric on, so I'm going to do a stitch at first. This is how you lock your thread in. So you push this down, step on the foot again, and now your thread is not going to come out. If you don't push on this, you can finish your project and your thread will come out because it's not locked at the end. So you always want to do a back stitch. That's what this is called, a back stitch. So we just want to come down, sew the garment. This is our first side. Another thing too, don't pull your fabric. You don't have to pull your fabric while you're sewing. You can just like simply guide it through. So I like to hold mine like, I like to just hold mine in the beginning, like in the front and in the back, but I don't pull anything. I just guide it through. You see how this pin is getting ready to go into this? Take your pin out so it doesn't go in there because it'll break your needle. And this pin is even pushing it a little bit. And I'm going to show you that when I get to that part. So we're getting closer to the part where my sleeve is going to go, which means that I'm going to stop where this pin is at right here, because my arms have to go through my sleeve. Take the pin out and just sew up. Then you want to do your back stitch so that your thread doesn't come loose. Back stitch. Okay? There is a little knife over here. You can just bring your garment over and cut the thread. And that's that. That's our first side. So you can see my stitch is cool, right? It looks nice, it looks beautiful, it's not messed up. But what I like to do is fold my garment over and do a straight stitch so that I know that my fabric is locked in. I'm not going to get any holes in my garments. So like I said, I'm going to go over, fold my garment over, and then I'm going to do a straight stitch, right? A straight stitch. And this is another reason you want to have seam allowance. So right now I'm on a number 3. I'm going to put it on number 2 so that I can just have a straight stitch. So you want to give it a couple stitches, hit your back stitch to lock the thread in, and now we're good. Back stitch. I don't know why that's acting a little weird. You're gonna come across little problems like that. Like you see how that's pulling? Don't pull that, because you can break your machine like that. If it's giving you a little bit of problems, just take this off. See what's happening. See that something was happening where it got a little jammed up. Just take it off and then figure out the problem. So this looks like, oh, now let's see if we can still use this, because it's like a little wonky in here. I don't know if you can see it or whatever, but it's like a little messed up. But I'm gonna see if I can still use it. If not, I'm gonna have to use my new bobbin that's threaded already, and then probably rethread this if I need to. But you can see the garment on this side, it has a straight stitch, and then on this side you can see the zigzag stitch because I folded it over. So it's not going nowhere. It's cute, it's like neat on the inside, and it's just going to have a lot of longevity. So I'm just going to sew the other side. I'm not going to do that part on camera because y'all saw me do the straight line on this side, and when I come back we're going to work on the sleeves. So y'all, I'm going to sew the sleeves real fast. Please, please, please always remember, you're sewing your fabric on the bad side. Please don't forget. See? I like to keep these parts in for y'all because things happen, okay? So here we have, this is still good, the bobbin is still good, but for some reason my thread came out of my needle. That could happen for a lot of reasons. I had the same needle on here for a while, and y'all know we just did that big project for my son or whatever. So I could really change this needle, but I don't feel like it. So, and he was using like harder fabric too, so I don't know, maybe it could have did something to the needle, but I don't feel like changing it. So, but if it keep doing it, I might change it. So I just rethreaded the needle. I'm just gonna fold this over so I won't have to do a straight stitch. It'll be more protected. So we're gonna start over. I did my back stitch so that it doesn't come out. You see how I moved my finger before I got close up there? You don't want to do that. You don't want to put your finger nowhere near there, okay? Nowhere near there. So this is my first sleeve. You can see it's beautiful. The stitching is good. It's no loose stitching or anything like that. So this is my first sleeve. I'm gonna do the next sleeve off camera. So y'all, when we put our sleeves on, we want to have our sleeves the right way. You don't want them to be on the bad side. You want them to be on the good side. And you see how my sleeve can stretch to fit my arm? I'm gonna hem my sleeve before I put it on the garment. And that's only because it just makes more sense, because I don't feel like tugging a whole big garment around while I'm hemming my sleeve. So when you're doing a hem, you want to do a small fold and then another small fold, and then that's how you do your hem. I could do this with a zigzag stitch or a straight stitch, but I'm gonna just use a zigzag stitch. Remember the back stitch. So you just want to keep folding all the way around as you go. Keep folding. Keep folding. When you get to this part right here, it's like where the seam is, so it's a little thicker. Let me try to show you. This is like a lot more fabric under there, and it's a little thicker. It may be hard to go through the presser footer. So what I like to do is, I like to like lift it up a little bit and make sure that the presser footer is still over it and that this is not stuck in the middle, because that can make your garment hard to go through. What in the world is going on? I think. Yeah, it's for me. It's just a prayer garment, but I had to do a tutorial for my YouTubers. Something happened. Oh gosh. The bobbin is done. So we gotta put another bobbin on. So when you guys encounter these little bumps in the road, don't think you done messed your stuff up. No, your bobbin is done. This is how the outside of it looks, the stitching, and then the inside is folded under good. It's not tacky in the inside. So that's the outside and that's the inside. I really do apologize because I don't know how this lighting is going to look, but it is like almost 12 a.m. and I'm sewing, and I don't want to have all the bright lights on the house, so I'm using my ring light thing. So I'm going to put the garment on her. When you are attaching your sleeves, you want to put the garment on her inside out. I'm going to show you that right now. So the garment is already inside out because that's how we sewed it, right? We sewed it inside out. Garment on her. This is the top of our garment. And remember, prayer garments are normally like really oversized, because you just want to be comfortable when you're in the house praying. It's like a muumuu dress. So we'll just put this garment on her inside out, like so. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So this is our sleeve, right? So what we want to do is think of your wrist. Think of when you have your shirt inside out. When you have your shirt inside out, the part that's attached to the shoulder is the shoulder part. So we want our shoulders to match up with our shoulders. But the way we're going to put our sleeve in is we're going to keep this on the good side and put it through the whole wrist first. This is on the wrong side. On the mannequin, it's on the wrong side. Always keep your garment on the wrong side when you're putting your sleeves on. You want to have your sleeve on the good side, and you're going to put it through the whole wrist first. So I have my wrist. Also too, you know how the seams are supposed to line up. You don't want your seam to be in the middle and then your underarm right here. No, you want to have your underarm seam to match up with the underarm seam of your garment. So we're going to put this bad boy in wrist first, right? We're going to put it in wrist first. Then we're going to look for our seam of our garment and match it up with our underarm seam over here. And this is where you should have a pin so that you can keep it stuck on there. So seam to seam, underarm to underarm. Seam to seam, underarm to underarm. Seam to seam, underarm to underarm. Now I'm going to bring y'all a little bit closer so y'all can see this. Oh, child, I can be dropping my... Oh, my God. Child, the whole thing done came off. One thing for certain, two things for sure. We are going to have a blooper. We are going to have a blooper. I did all that because I want to show y'all the hole. So this is the seam. This is the seam. You have both good sides together because this is inside out. This is the good side going in. Good sides should always get sewn together. Never sew a bad side and a good side together. Good sides go together. So this is our hole for our arm. This is our hole for our sleeve. We matched it up, underarm to underarm, and then we're just going to put it on the machine and sew a circle. So the best way to ensure that our sleeves is going to stay lined up, I like to start at the seam. And so you see this, the hole that's in there, both of them are together. This is the garment, this is the sleeve, good side, good side. This is the hole, right? So I like to put this around this circle, put the sleeve around the circle so that I can just go in a full circle. This is my pin that I had to secure the seams together, right? So I like to start at the seam. That way I know that my seams are going to match up perfectly. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to start it. Do your back stitch. That way it's locked in. And then you just want to go around the circle. You can like move your fabric a little bit because your needle is inside the fabric. So your fabric is not going to move off of the machine. So you could play around with this if ever something is not lining up. You could just fix it because you want to try to make sure that it's cool, right? So we're just going to go around in a circle. Right? And we can turn this because the needle's down. Right? We just want to keep turning it and we'll know when we're there because we'll be back at the seam. I did my back stitch. Okay, so now it just looks like my garment is inside out. I'm gonna go back and do a straight stitch too, because I love that extra protection. So we got our first sleeve on, and now I'm just gonna show you how it turned out before I put the second one on off camera, right? So we're gonna put the garment on the right side now, and what I was telling you about the seam, this is the seam. Wherever the line is, that's the seam, and you can see my seams are matching up perfectly. Alhamdulillah. This is my sleeve, this is my seam, and my seam is matching up right to where the underarm seam is. So that's how the garment looks once I turn the sleeve out. Well, once I turn the garment on the right side. I'm gonna put the other sleeve on real quick and I'll be right back. So I wouldn't be me if I didn't come on here and tell y'all that I put my sleeve on the wrong side. How did I do this? You see what I'm saying? Now it's like how did I put this on the wrong side? So now I didn't even take my own advice, and I don't know what happened. I must be getting tired. So when something like this happens, y'all, I'm so upset, but it's like a good thing because I get to show y'all. When something like this happens and you have to redo something, I'm just going in here and cutting the threads out to put this sleeve on the right way or whatever, just by cutting the thread, not the fabric, because I don't want it to be like shorter or I'm gonna have to redo it. They have something called a seam ripper, and it makes it so much easier to take this off, but I don't know where that thing is. I probably gave it to my son. So y'all, the last thing that we have to sew and connect is the neck part, and the only thing we're going to have to do to sew the neck part is we're going to sew down the part that's open on this way. This is a fold. You don't have to sew anything here, but you're going to have to sew down the part that's open. See, make sure the good sides are together, and after we do that, we're going to hem the circle around so that when we put the garment on our head, it's like finished. It's not like, you know, like tacky. I guess you could call it tacky when something is not done, like somebody just tacked it together. I don't know if that's where they got the name from. So let's come here. Our stuff is already on the 3. I'm gonna fold this over just so that it can be like sewn together tighter. So I folded it over so I won't have to do a straight stitch this time. Just folding it over, put the foot down, keep it folded, right? We're doing a zigzag stitch. Start it, back stitch, and keep folding while you're going down. Back stitch. This is what our garment looks like. It's nice and neat stitching. It's good stitching. So I wanna sew the garment, give it like a little hem so that it's nice and cute. So whenever you're hemming, just fold twice, right? Fold twice. Start back stitch. This part is where the seam is. It's a little thicker. You want to make sure the pressure foot is over top of it and that it's not in between, because that's going to make it pop. So it went through good that time. So we're going to keep folding. You'll know when you're done, because you'll get back to the part where you started at. Just gonna cut my thread right here. And that's it for the head part of my garment. And then, so girls, as you can see, we have our garment back on the wrong side. And the reason why we have that on the wrong side is because we're gonna put our headpiece into the hole the same way we did the sleeve. And remember that the good sides always have to touch each other. So the part that goes on your head is not the part that will get sewn to the neck. This is the neck part. So the way that we're going to do this is we want to find the seam. Right? This is the seam. We want that to be in the middle. So when we put our garment on, we know that wherever our seam is, that's where our head goes through. And this part will be where our chin is. So we want to make sure we find the seam, right? Find the seam. You want to put this part in first. Put the part that's going to go in your head, on your head first. This is your neck. And you want to attach that with a pin, right? Let me show you guys again. So the part that we sewed just now is going to go on our head. This part goes around our face on our head. This is our neck part, and it has to attach to the neck part of the garment. So we are going to put this garment in head first with the stitching, head first, so that the neck on here and the neck on here is getting sewn together. And we want to find the seam, because this is the part that we want to have in the middle. The seam should be in the middle. So we're just going to put the garment in, find the seam, and then put a pin at the seam, right? So that should be good. And the good sides are going to be together. The good sides are going to be together. So for beginner sewers, just to avoid the problem that I just had, you can pin this garment all the way around at the neck part. So y'all, I just pinned the garment all the way around the neck. And what this did for me is it let me know that the neck and the neck on here is the same size, which I need it to be. It lets me know that my garment is cohesive. Everything is the right way, because if it wasn't the right way, you see like how the sleeve was wrong that time. The sleeve had, one sleeve had the good side showing and the other sleeve was the way it was supposed to be. So the fact that the whole garment is inside out lets me know that this is going to be attached properly. So the best way to put the neck piece on, y'all, is to just put it on the machine like the circle. Put it on the machine like this. and have it just go around in a circle. Do I put it on thread? Then you can remove the pins as you're going. Just keep going around that circle. Keep going around the circle. Remove the pins as you go. So y'all, the last part that we have to do for this garment is hem it, right? So you also want to hem on the wrong side because you have to fold the garment like upside down like that. So you want to make sure your garment is on the wrong side when you hem. I'm going to start close to where my seam is because that's the part that always gets on my nerves. It's like thicker, so it's hard to do. So we're going to just sew the garment 2 times, not no big fold. Did I say sew? Fold the garment 2 times, not a real big fold, just like a little thin fold. So as you're sewing your straight stitch, you want to keep making sure your garment is folded twice. That's a beautiful stitch too. I'm going to show y'all. The way you want to make sure that it's folded twice, you want to keep on doing it because sometimes it can roll up like bigger. So you want to keep making sure you starting it over. Can y'all see that? Make sure you're starting it over right there and just keep folding it twice. You don't want it to roll up too many times. So. You want to make sure it's not too rolled up too much. And fold it again. Keep going, we're almost there. Keep making sure it's a small fold. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Whew, yeah. We're almost there, y'all. See how it's rolling bigger? That's why I say always make sure you're re-rolling it so it can stay smaller, because this fabric is like stretchy and it'll move and roll. Good way to know that you rolled it right is because like when you get back to this part, you see how it's like matching up perfectly. That's a good way to tell that your hem is good. Don't forget to back stitch. And that is it for the garment, y'all. So this is my stitch and it looks beautiful. You can't even see it. It's so neat. But it looks absolutely amazing. The stitch is good. This is the inside of the garment. You see that hem? That hem is perfect. Mashallah, mashallah. So I'm going to put this on the mannequin. But then I'm going to try it on for y'all as well. Hold on. So girls, here is the garment on the mannequin. Just wanted to get a closer up of the fabric. It is so pretty, y'all. It's so pretty. That's the thing I like about prayer garments, because you can like really indulge in all of the patterns and colors and not feel like, you know, you're doing too much. But this is her close up, and now I'm gonna put the garment on. So girls, here is the garment on me. Let's give it mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. And it is super flowy. So when I come before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm covered. Alhamdulillah. The sleeves are a little bit long, y'all, but I don't care. Like, I don't know, it's like I like my stuff to be a little bit oversized, and I just don't even know why. Of course you want the bottom to be long, because a lot of times, like when me and Treasure pray, we don't be having socks on, and you know your feet are not supposed to be exposed during prayer. So I like to keep them a little long, but I love this. It feels so good. Like, I can't even make this up. I'm gonna get the phone just so I could take a couple pictures too. But I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, this sewing vlog, and until the next one, bye loves.